You're on.
This is a Varela production with Steve Smoger, and we want to talk about the Rose of Solito.
Yep, yep. First of all, it's great to be in your company in beautiful Panama City, Panama on fight day and fight night. But that's always a topic that I'm very honored to discuss. In 1991, I was assigned by the World Boxing Organization to referee Dingan Tubella, who was known as the Rose of Soweto, against Jose Antonio Rivera of Puerto Rico. It was at the Standback Arena in downtown Johannesburg. If my memory serves, the eminent Nelson Mandela had just been, or was in the first year of his release. He had not ascended to the presidency. I think they were reforming the ANC, and he was the honored guest for the fight weekend. So we enter the arena, and the first thing I notice is armed guards with the rifle, the pistolas, all around the arena. That's okay.
Do you remember what kind of crowd, what kind of size?
Humongous crowd.
Huge.
It was, yeah, huge crowd. Capacity. Really a well orchestrated event. Accommodations were great, pre-fight. Everything was basically a throwback to the old days where the weigh-in was mobbed and the press was crazy. We were interviewing.
Electricity.
The electricity was definitely there. Fight progresses and the Rose comes out. He's boxing beautifully. Antonio coming forward, always aggressive, a Puerto Rican banger. And he's coming in and he catches the Rose in round 6 and hurts him badly. And what I remember is he's holding, trying to regain, and the crowd starts to sing the, I don't want to call it the national anthem, but the song, the traditional song of Soweto. And I could see the Rose being uplifted, and he recuperated and went on to win, I believe, a split decision. And tremendous. The crowd was absolutely crazy. Both fighters were very, very excellent. I don't remember any real problem other than to keep an eye on him because he was badly hurt.
Tough fight.
He was badly hurt, but he recovered. Decisions in, and it was a Saturday night fight. We're flying the very late flight, the overnight flight from Johannesburg to Washington. In my most recent trip, it was to Atlanta. But this trip, I recall specifically, was Joburg to Washington, D.C. So, as I said, the pomp and circumstance was incredible. So they invite the officials to the farewell luncheon on Sunday. And we appear, and it's really, I remember it in the hotel, flowers and the dais, and we had the officials table, and we go in, and then we see a cadre come in African garb, and in the middle is Nelson Mandela and Winnie Mandela. I said, oh my God.
You're in the presence now.
I'm in the presence now. And I said to my fellow officials, I remember one was a German, we hung out pretty much all the time there, a German official who I worked with on other occasions. And I said, I've got to get near this guy. I've got to shake his hand. I said, this is very, very momentous from a personal standpoint because of my respect for the man and what he was endeavoring then. In hindsight, what he accomplished is incredible. But this was the beginning of his journey to freedom. And it had a political impact on me because the city of Atlantic City is 60 to 70% minority. I was an appointee of an African American mayor. In New Jersey, you're appointed to the bench, to the crown attorney. It's all appointed. We call it the prosecutor there. So you're in the hands of appointment by nomination by the mayor, confirmation by the council. So I said, this will play well in Atlantic City in my other life. And at that particular time, I was a nominee for the bench. So, because I was elevated that year in May of '91. And this was early on in '90, not too far. I want to say April-ish, I'm not sure. We should have checked box right. We should have checked box right. In any event, I moved forward to the dais and two gentlemen in African garb stand in front of me and go to their waistband. I said, oh.
No smoker tonight.
No smoker tonight. However, where my dear friend Carlito is standing is Mandela. And he says, let him pass. He was the referee last evening. So
for our beloved Rose.
For our beloved Rose. And the sea parted. And I walked up and he shook my hand. He said, young man, you did a fine job last evening. I said, Mr. Mandela, coming from you, and I knowing that you were the middleweight champion of Africa, that is a very, very appreciative. I appreciate your comment. He said, well deserved, lad. Then I turned to Mrs. Mandela and I said, madam, your pictures and photos do not do you justice. It's a pleasure to be in your presence. She said, well, thank you very much.
What a charmer.
A charmer.
What a charmer.
It was true. I mean, I said, well, the pictures did.
Yeah.
She's a pretty woman.
Pretty girl.
Yeah. And, you know, we're going back some years. So that was it. I had my 15 seconds of Mandela fame. And I go back to Steve, you really did it. The official, great job. You really were there. And so forth and so on. And it was really, really a tremendous experience. So now, that evening we fly home. I need a jet lag recovery day. Thanks to you, I have one here. And my dear agent, agent extraordinary. Panama. So I get home and I report to my office. I believe it was Wednesday. Grabbed an extra day.
There you go.
And I figured I'd call up, and our mayor is Mayor, the Honorable James Ushery. Fabulous guy. Former school principal who's knew me since time began. And I said, His Honor will really, really enjoy this. So his secretary puts me in right away, because as we say, we're early birds. I get in, had to be 8:45 before his day starts. And I said, Steve, welcome back, how'd it go? I said, you'll not believe it, Your Honor. And I told him the story, and he said, I get chills thinking about it. You touched Mandela. I said, I was in his presence. He says, you touched Mandela. I said, yes, sir. We shook hands. I think he may have even tapped my shoulder from the dais. It was wonderful. And Your Honor, you know he was the former middleweight champion of South Africa before his incarceration. He was quite the amateur boxer.
That's right.
And he said, well, I said, so coming from him, he said, that's great. He says, listen, this is too important. He says, I am calling a special meeting of City Council. And I want you to recount this to the good citizens of our city. I said, I would be honored to share this. So, that Friday, within a day, by mayoral order, special commemorative session of the City Council of Atlantic City, and all the Baptist churches were invited. All the churches were invited. All the interfaith were invited. We had SRO, standing room only, and as you and I like to reflect upon as we talk and as we dyne is the electricity in the atmosphere.
Yes.
It was in this event. So His Honor gets up and he says, our prosecutor, Mr. Steve Smoger, as you know, is an up-and-coming at that time referee who had the honor of being selected to do an international bout. And this was a fresh South Africa. I mean, just to digress, I almost got in a little bit of trouble. I see no color. So I'm at a weigh-in, and I want to go to, as Carlito would say, the baño. And I go in, and I don't look at any signs. This is a true story.
Segregated.
And I walk into the bathroom, and I'm in the process of the natural comings and goings, and I feel cold steel on my right side.
Oh boy.
And the guard, an Afrikaner in full military garb, tells me, "Sir, you're on the wrong facility." I said, "Can I complete the procedure and I'll know better?" And he says, "On your way out, don't drink out of that fountain."
Oh wow.
I said, "Sir, I play by all rules. If that's your rules, I'm not taking issue." And that was it. I found out that there are white, black, and other. The girls at the counter were others. They were Indian. So that's just an aside. Other, white, black, and other. And there's delineated, this is 1991.
Amazing.